Welcome to Max Outdoors. This episode, it's all about catfish. We're at Lake Lavon, Texas, bank fishing for some cats. Stay tuned, because this episode we're going to tell you how to catch them and even where to catch them. So it's going to be a good one. The first location we tried was under one of the main bridges. We had a nice south wind coming right under the bridge, but we had no luck this day. On a point north of the Highland Park boat ramp, day 2 turned up one blue cat and one mud cat. Neither of them were anywhere near our 50-pound goal. The third morning started out early at Elm Creek boat ramp. We had a strong southwest wind blowing the shad right into the ramp. See, this is our first time ever using a cast net, and we did pretty good. About 20 minutes caught us all the shad that we need for the entire day. As you can see, throwing a cast net is not a one-and-done activity. It can take several throws before you get enough fish to last the entire day. But I will highly suggest getting one because it is 100% useful and saves a ton of money in the long run. This was the first place that we tried. With the wind coming straight from the west, we tried Portonio boat ramp. Now, this ramp is closed to launch the boats, but you can park at the gate and you can walk down, and this point is a few hundred yards to the south of the boat ramp. It's a good little walk, but it was a good spot to go fishing. Just watch out for the obstructions under the water.
For such a small fish, he sure fought like a son of a bitch.
There you go. As I'm sure you can hear, we were battling the wind all day. At this point, the wind had shifted from west to northwest and was still blowing strong right into the shoreline. That's one thing about catfishing, you have to fish with the wind to your face, and sometimes it can be a little brutal. This fish was the 5th one caught of the day. We are on the east end of the long bridge on Lucas Road. The wind changed to north-northwest at 35 to 40 miles an hour. I had to wade out waist deep to catch this one, and the waves were not pretty out there. There was 2 fish that were not videoed. They were caught north of the Highland Park boat ramp. They were both flatheads, and they were both fairly small. I can tell you this, bank fishing can be fun, but it's a lot of work and it's a lot of walking. So make sure you're prepared and make sure that you can physically walk a long distance before you try this out. Day 4 took us back to the point north of the Highland Park boat ramp. We tried something a little bit different this time because we weren't having too much luck fishing with the wind directly at our face. So we tried going to the back side of the point where the current was kind of creating a swirl effect in the water. This boasted 2 fairly decent sized catfish for us that day. So this was the common practice that we started using from this point on. Following the bank to the west, you can find this little cluster of trees that's right off the shoreline. You can wade all the way out almost to the outer edge and still only be chest deep. But at this moment, the catfish were coming in pretty shallow to soak in the warm water, so we were able to get them right off the shoreline. After 2 solid weeks of cold fronts pushing through, bringing colder weather, rain, which means cold water, we finally got back out to find that our usual fishing spot was flooded. But that's okay, because all we did was we had to cast over the usual weeds that we were in front of. We just had to cast over them. But what this did do on this warm day was it triggered the short-nosed gar spawn up into these weeds. So we got some incredible views and some good footage of these short-nosed gar. The grass carp were also along there cruising, and well, just say that if you had a bow, this would be the place to be right now.
This is James from Max Outdoors out here on Lake Lavon. Already been out here for about 45 minutes, seeing a lot of fish. They're right up here. We just had a lot of rain here recently. The lake is, I mean, as you can see, it's right up into the grass here. The grass carp are right in here. We've seen gar. Just caught this nice little blue cat right here. Not much of a in weight, but a nice little eater. So we're gonna throw it back and see what we can get. Alright folks, got a fish right here. Look at that, feels like a big one. We're gonna get it in quick. We're gonna get through these weeds. Woo, look at that one. Oh man. Looked like a fighter there, Lance. Oh, it was a fighter. Took a little bit to get the camera going. It was out there a good couple 100 yards. That looks like a good 15 pounder. I tell you, that's as good as it gets for most folks right there out here on Lake Lavon. As good as it gets. So, what are you using there, Lance? I'm using a Gamakatsu 8/0 circle hook on Trilene Big Game 50-pound test. It's a big, thick line, but I tell you, catch a fish like this. So, is that full? Yeah, well, looks like we got a. I think we got a bite over there. See if we got one over here. May have 2 for 1 here.
Oh!
Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like we got us a...
Wasn't very far off the bank there.
Oh, I would say, I think that's a striper right there. I think. I'm not real familiar with this kind of fish. So it may be a striper bass.
Alright.
I really don't know. But this was caught on shad. We decided to take the shad, so... We're going to see if we can catch more fish. We're going to put the lines back out there. So, Max Outdoors, bringing more to you.
After this, the fish seemed to start coming pretty regularly. We caught fish after fish after fish after fish. With a drum and a gar thrown in here and there. It was a pretty eventful day. When you're using a small 3 to 4 inch shad, it's important to remember that you want to double hook the shad so that it prevents the shad from coming off, because they are a very soft and tender fish. And you can see here, if you double hook it, you can pretty much drag it through almost anything before it'll come off. So it's what I highly suggest.
There you go.
As the sun got higher, the temperatures also followed. The bite got stronger, and we ended up wearing out the catfish that day. We caught so many, we lost count. So I will highly suggest this spot, point north of the Highland Park boat ramp. Well guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Maxed Outdoors. I want to go over 3 things with you real quick. First, bait. Fresh shad will catch them every time. Buy yourself a cast net, learn how to throw it, it'll pay for itself in just a couple trips. Second thing is beware of the clip style swivels. We had a couple fish hook up that were big enough to bend those clips out straight, and then we lost the fish. So make sure you don't buy the clip style swivels and you tie your own leaders and everything up to it. And third is, I highly recommend the Gamakatsu A-Dot circle hook. It is a big hook, but it's a self-setter, and I'll tell you, the fish didn't even hesitate to pick this hook up. So I highly suggest that. Make sure y'all visit our website and just look around. You can send us an email at maxedoutdoors@hotmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. We have a Facebook page, Maxed Outdoors. I update that 24/7, so it's a normal page. You can write on our wall, we can write on your wall, and you can know everything up to the minute. And finally, check us out on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, give us feedback. We want to know what you, the viewers, have to say. That all being said, I'd like to thank y'all for stopping by, and make sure you tune in for the next episode where we're going bass fishing. So I'm Lance McDonald. You saw James Strassner earlier. We are Maxed Outdoors.